Number 15. ADS Amphibious Rifle, $2,000. The 5.54 39mm M74 round is used by the Russian assault rifle known as the ADS, which is made for combat divers. It has a pull-pup layout and can be modified using optical sights and a silencer. The Tula Instrument Design Bureau created the ADS with the goal of creating a single weapon that could be employed both above and below water. When the ADS was first created in 2000, using lengthy, specially made underwater ammo while submerged presented difficulties. The design team at KBP created efficient underwater ammunition that maintains the compact dimensions of regular 5.4539mm rounds, enabling it to be loaded and fired from common AK-74 type box mags, and the same chambers and barrels that would take above-water ammunition. The ADS uses several VOG-25 grenade variants and has a 40mm grenade launcher with a 400-meter range. It has a range of 500 meters, weighs around 4.6 kg, and fires 5.4539mm bullets at a rate of 700 rounds per minute. At a depth of 5 meters, the effective underwater shooting range of the ADS is approximately 25 meters, while at a depth of 20 meters, it is 18 meters. The convenience of ambidextrous firing and the reduction of gas pollution in the shooter's face are made possible by fired cartridge extraction to the forward. The ADS went into operation in August 2013 and began working with the Special Operations Force Command of the Russian Military of Defense in September 2016. Number 14. Corner Shot Guns, $3,500. Israeli Corner Shot is a giant stock pistol with a hinge, which has been used in movies like Wanted, Red, and The Expendables 3. The front end holds the gun and has a laser, light, and camera array. The camera feeds video back to the stock portion and can be viewed via a folding screen, allowing the shooter to shoot from complete cover. The recoil is awkward when using the corner shot to shoot around corners, and the weight of 8.5 pounds makes it difficult to move. Users can use a threaded barrel and an effective muzzle brake to keep the gun down. Nerf is releasing a simpler version of the corner shot called the Nerf Rebel Corner Sight, which does not have a fancy lever, camera, and screen. It is a pump-action blaster with a small capacity of only 4 shots and is much cheaper, at around $20, compared to the corner shot's $3,500 price tag. However, the performance matches the price. Number 13. Armatix IP1, $1,400. The German manufacturer Armatix invented and created the Armatix IP1, a semi-auto handgun chambered for the .22 long rifle rimfire cartridge. It is advertised as a James Bond-style handgun that only a licensed user is able to discharge. The pistol has a 10-round detachable box mag and a maximum effective firing distance of 75 yards. It weighs 518 grams. It has a color-coded safety system, an integrated grip safety, an electronic mag disconnect, and an interface for extra functions like a camera. A smart system is made up of the W1 active RFID watch and the IP1 handgun, both of which connect via radio frequency identification. The firearm only works when the corresponding IW1 active RFID wristwatch is within 10 inches of it. The wristwatch may deactivate the firearm using a time control feature and displays the battery level of both the watch and the handgun, as well as the number of rounds fired in a specified amount of time. The handgun cannot be shot if it is pointed away from the target, and the target response system can be programmed to fire only toward a recognized target or permitted target. Gun rights groups like the National Rifle Association have opposed attempts to require smart gun technology in the U.S. The state of New Jersey established a child-proof handgun law in 2002 with the goal of eventually requiring that all firearms sold there be smart weapons. According to proponents of gun rights, any attempts to sell a smart gun in the nation would be in violation of the law. The pistol was lauded for its sleek ergonomic appearance, paddle-style mag release, and decent single-action trigger pull in an August 2014 review that appeared in America's First Freedom. However, the reliability, double-action, trigger pull, recessed hammer, color-coded LED indicators, and waterproofing of the handgun received the majority of the criticism. Number 12. Magpul FMG9, $1,000. In 2008, Magpul Industries created a working prototype of a foldable submash gun called the Magpul FMG9, It is lighter because polymer is used in place of metal in its construction. The FMG9 was only ever built by Magpul as a proof of concept, never making it past the prototype stage, and never seeing any kind of mainstream production. The FPG was introduced in 2010 by the PTS division of Magpul Industries in collaboration with KWA Performance Industries. The FPG has an airsoft KWA G18C replica's firing mechanism, but is almost identical to the FMG9 prototype. The FPG has a mag capacity of 49 bullets and fires 6mm pellets. The FDC-9 and FDP-9, two updated variants of the FMG-9 that are scheduled for availability in 2022, were unveiled by Magpul in 2021. Number 11. Liberator, $500. Defense Distributed's The Liberator single-shot 3D printable handgun was unveiled on May 6, 2013. Over 100,000 people downloaded the designs in the 2 days prior to the U.S. Department of State requesting that Defense Distributed remove them. The Liberator plans are still hosted online and may be found at sites for file sharing like the Pirate Bay and GitHub. The U.S. Department of Justice and Defense Distributed reached a settlement on July 19 that permits the sale of 3D printed gun designs online starting on August 1. The FP45 Liberator, a single-shot handgun created by George Hyde and mass-produced for the American Office of Strategic Services during World War II, is the inspiration behind the naming of the Liberator. The gun was going to be dropped into occupied Europe by the OSS for use by the resistance. The Liberator may also have been designed to be a weapon for psychological conflict. In order to prepare for civilian resistance, occupying forces in Europe would have to take evidence of dispersed pistols into account, which would complicate their plan and lower morale. The Liberator's internet release can be seen as an effort by Defense Distributed to carry out the historical psychological operation more effectively, and as a symbolic gesture in support of opposition to global governments. Days after its release, the Office of Defense Trade Controls of the U.S. Department of State wrote to Defense Distributed and demanded that it remove the Liberator designs from public view. Later, the website surfaced on the Pirate Bay, which openly defended the content. The Victoria and Albert Museum has purchased original Liberator copies, and the Science Museum in London has a copy on exhibit. The Liberator has been put to use in a number of different contexts, including the ATF test of 3D printed weapons made of ABS and Visijet materials. A licensed gunsmith oversaw the 2013 production of a Liberator handgun for the Finnish Yeli TV2 current affairs program Ajankotainen Kakinen, who then discharged it under controlled circumstances. A Liberator with a 9mm cartridge was constructed and tested by Israeli Channel 10 reporters, who were successful in striking a target at a distance of several meters. 5 Liberator duplicates were manufactured and assembled by a Japanese guy, who then posted video proof of his possession of the weapons online on or around April 12, 2014. Authorities discovered that at least 2 of the replicas had fatal power when they apprehended him on May 8, 2014. Number 10. Tracking Point, $7,000. Tracking Point's automated fire technology has long been attacked by TTAG's Armed Intelligentsia as being too pricey and ineffective. However, the business now unveiled a brand new killer app, night vision functionality. Users of the M400 XHDR can switch between day and night hunting optics or buy a costly intensifier tube for their existing scope, thanks to the night vision feature. The system comes with a sturdy stock, free-floating handguard, and a full-length top rail for mounting IR illumination. The barrel may be modified to take the point of impact shift into consideration and has the customary 5/8 thread pitch. There are 4 batteries included with the M400 XHDR, and 2 of them can be inserted into the stock of the rifle to power the system and sight. If the batteries have run out, the gun will still fire even without the scope attached and turned on. The system offers a number of features, including guided trigger, precision mode, suppression mode, and a simple version that lets users make changes. But the system breaks down when the lights go out. The main sensor reads IR light entering the scope and then uses internal algorithms to improve the image. Fuzzy targets with noise distortion result from the lack of an intensifier tube, which would have increased the light entering the sensor. The noise in the Gen 2 night vision implementation makes it useless. A comparable accurate 300 BLK rifle with a nice scope and a clip-on night vision scope would cost around the same as the M400 XHDR, which is valued at close to $7,000. Number 9. Chiappa Rhino, $1,500. A futuristic 6-gun called the Chiappa Rhino has found its way into many people's hands. Emilio Ghisoni and Antonio Cudazzo, who had previously worked on the Matiba family of semi-auto revolvers, were the designers of the Chiappa Rhino, which has its origins in Italy. The Chiappa Rhino was intended to be a contemporary revolver, with the key design distinction being the alignment of the barrel's bottom with the revolver's bottom cylinder. As a result, there is less muzzle flip and more recoil transferred rearward toward the wrist, as opposed to upward and off target. This lowers the bore axis and almost aligns it with the wrist. There are numerous calibers available for the Chiappa Rhino, including .357 Magnum, 9mm, 40 S&W, and 9x21mm. The 40DS model has wood grips, an adjustable sight, and an auxiliary rail for lighting. Others, like the 20D, a double-action-only pistol with a 2-inch barrel, and the 50DS, a double single-action with a 5-inch barrel, are named primarily for the length of the barrel and the action. The bottom-mounted barrel of the Chiappa Rhino is renowned for reducing muzzle flip and softening the gun's shooting action. The design results in a great significant reduction in recoil, handling a .357 Magnum more like a .38 Special at most. To cock the rifle into single action, you must use 2 thumbs because the cocking lever is stiff. It is simple to use and simple to reload because the cylinder release is placed just beneath the cocking lever. The Chiappa Rhino 40DS has a very mild muzzle rise and is not impetuous. Although the awful trigger might be criticized, other things like the lights can also be. It is also difficult to cock due to its great stiffness. The Chiappa Rhino is pricey, yet despite its stylish appearance and sophisticated design, it is not a competent firearm. Number 8. Chris Vector, $1,600. The Swiss gunmaker Chris Group created the amazing Chris Vector in 2006. It features a small cutting-edge design and tremendous firepower. CRB, SBR, and SDP are the 3 different models of the Vector. Chris launched Gen 2 in 2015, with improvements to the trigger, pistol grip, and safety throw, as well as the elimination of a surefire weapon light slot. The Vector is made for everyone who can benefit from its distinctive design, either as a truck gun or home defense weapon. Being so easily stored, it can also be used as a truck gun or bag gun. The Vector fits and feels differently than most weapons, and during testing from 7 yards, it fired accurately. Even with its amazing rate of fire, the Vector's low bore axis and recoil system make it exceedingly simple to maintain precise fire. Due to its design, the Vector is very intriguing because it is not much bigger than a large pistol and collapses to a relatively small 18.5 inches long when the stock is folded. The Vector is only 2/5 reliable, and finishing a full mag on auto can be frustrating at times. The Vector's back is excellent, and the controls are conveniently located. The Vector fires 5-shot groups at a distance of 7 yards with 2-inch groups on average. Picatinny rails on the top and a rail segment directly beyond the muzzle on the bottom are 2 customization choices. The Chris Vector is an exceptional weapon that provides a perfect balance of firepower, mobility, and ergonomics. Prices for the Chris Vector range from $600 to more than $2,000 depending on the model, with many calibers and combinations being offered. Upgrades to the Vector, including the Holosun AEMS and Cloud Defensive Rain 2.0, can enhance its performance. Although the gun's dependability is a concern, a vertical grip might help during auto testing. Overall, the Chris Vector is a unique and stylish firearm with a lot of promise. Number 7. FN57, $1,500. A semi-auto pistol called the FN57 was created by FN Herstal in Belgium by fusing the FN P90 personal defense weapon and the FN 5.728mm cartridge. The pistol was introduced in 1990 and has subsequently been made available to civilian shooters for self-defense and target practice. The pistol, which was formerly only available to members of the military and police enforcement, is now available to civilian shooters for personal defense and target practice. The pistol has been the focus of continuous debate in the U.S. and has faced resistance from groups that support gun regulation, including the Brady campaign. The 5.728mm cartridge weighs 6 grams, which is much less than the typical 919mm Parabellum cartridge. It was created in response to NATO requests for a replacement for the 919mm Parabellum cartridge. The 5.728mm projectile, tested by the Passaic County, New Jersey Sheriff's Department, can pierce helmets, PASGT vests, and Kevlar protective vests with a muzzle velocity of about 650 meters per second. The terminal performance of the bullet, however, is disputed by some, and it is a topic of discussion among American civilian shooters. As it loses a significant amount of kinetic energy at only 400 meters, the lightweight projectile also poses a lower danger of collateral harm than typical handgun bullets. The Hague Convention of 1899 forbids the use of expanding ammunition in warfare, and the 5.7 is regarded as acceptable for military usage. Number 6. Personnel Halting and Stimulation Response Rifle, $1,000. The People Halting and Stimulation Response Rifle, or Phaser, a prototype non-lethal laser dazzler, was developed by the Directed Energy Directorate of the United States Department of Defense. Its goal is to temporarily blind and confuse a target. Blinding laser weapons were prohibited under the 1995 UN Protocol on Blinding Laser Weapons, to which the United States signed on January 21, 2009, notwithstanding earlier experiments. The low-intensity laser employed in the Phaser rifle is not prohibited by this criterion because its temporary blinding effect is permitted. There is also a 2-wavelength laser in use. The Phaser was tested at the Kirtland Air Force Base in Kirtland, New Mexico, which is home to the Air Force Research Laboratory Directed Energy Directorate. The Star Trek fictional Phaser is well known for being depicted as a portable directed energy weapon with a lethal mode and a mode that can strike living targets with non-lethal temporarily incapacitating effects. This is frequently accompanied by the on-screen dialogue, "Set phasers to stun." Its name is likely a reference to this fictional weapon. Number 5. Accuracy International AT, $4,000. A scientist created the Accuracy International AT, a precision rifle system, to take performance variables out of the equation and concentrate on what he could control. It uses a Robert Gratis barrel with an SAS Reaper suppressor and is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. The Schmidt and Bender PM2 525x56 and Atlas bipod are included with the AT. The AT buttstock can be changed primarily by adjusting spacers to the desired dimension. The trigger, grip, and mag system are weight and position adjustable, have a comfortable shoe, and have no overtravel and zero slack. The AT has a smooth bolt that feels like two pieces of oiled glass rubbing against each other without any of the typical slop that you would see in a factory rifle, as well as a 20 MOA Picatinny rail for maximum scope travel. The AT is a bolt-action hunting rifle that is portable and simple to use when shooting over obstacles. Barrier stops and hand stops may both be built for the AT using key slot technology because of its wide, flat forend, which is perfect for flat obstacles. However, because of the 24-inch barrel's weight, the AT can be a little difficult to use while shooting from a slung position. The AI differs from typical Remington 700 design rifles by permitting rapid barrel swaps, so the owner can use a different manufacturer barrel. Spend less money than keeping two identical rifles in various chamberings by loading a .308 barrel in only 5 minutes. With a range of sub-MOA 5-shot groups at the 100-yard line, the AT is incredibly accurate. It is a fantastic option for people searching for a lightweight, precise rifle for long-range shooting. Number 4. Zip 22, $200. A semi-auto handgun in the .22 long rifle caliber, the USFA Zip 22 was released in 2013. The pistol experienced repeated mechanical problems, including inability to feed ammunition and expel used casings, despite its creative design, cost, and accuracy. The gun's low reliability caused it to be commercially unsuccessful, which ultimately resulted in the USFA's retirement in 2017. The handgun is designed with a flat butt plate for the shooter's handrest and a box-shaped, futuristic-looking polymer frame with 2 holes for the trigger and the user's middle finger. It has trapezoidal bars on the bolt for cycling the action and uses Ruger 1022 detachable mags. The gun was meant to be the receiver of a modular weapon system that could be expanded with different drop-in additions to meet the shooter's needs. By adding a carbine stock and a suppressor, the Zip 22 could also be transformed into a rifle but due to the weapon's commercial failure, these add-ons and a 22 WMR conversion kit were never developed past the prototype stage. The Zip-22 was first made public in an effort at a viral marketing prank by Douglas Donnelly, a YouTube user who is thought to be the creator and CEO of the business. For the USFA, a manufacturer of replica Colt single-action army and other vintage firearms, developing the rifle was a big gamble. USFA took a risk by selling off its single-action army production tooling to cover the cost of the firearm. But once the Zip-22 started to generate a profit, the business planned to resume manufacture with freshly acquired tools. The Zip-22's serious reliability troubles on the market, however, led to the company's downfall. USFA closed in 2017 due to its inability to resume the production of more lucrative products after the gun's production ceased in 2014. Number 3. XM25 CDTE, $35,000. The airburst grenade launcher deployed in Afghanistan was the XM25 Counter-Defilade Target Engagement System, also referred to as the Punisher, an individual semi-airburst system. Despite being fielded in 2010, problems and budget cuts prevented it from going into service right away. A laser rangefinder built into the weapon measures the distance to the target before firing 25mm grenades that will detonate in midair at or close to the target. The amount of spiral rotations the grenade does after shooting helps it keep track of how far it has traveled. It then detonates at the right distance to create an airburst effect. The XM25 has a maximum range of 350 meters for area targets and a maximum range of 150 meters for point targets. According to studies, the XM25 with airburst rounds engages the enemy 300% more effectively than other squad-level grenade launchers. The XM25 is criticized for requiring soldiers to switch from their rifles to it as their primary weapon, reducing their ability to engage targets up close and being too hefty for them to carry. Number 2. AA-12 Atchison Assault Shotgun, $3,500. The Auto Assault 12 is a well-known shotgun that has a significant media presence, showing up in films, TV series, and video games. Maxwell Atchison created it in 1972, and in 1987 he sold it to military police systems. The design was tweaked and changed throughout the course of the following 18 years until MPS arrived at the AA-12. The AA-12 is a fully automatic 12-gauge shotgun weighing 10 pounds that enables one-handed, accurate firing. Due to its low cyclic rate of about 300 rounds per minute, it is appropriate for semi-auto shooting and can easily empty a drum bag. The U.S. military never adopted the AA-12 despite its remarkable performance. Its legacy in movies, television shows, and computer games illustrates its potential uses in cutting-edge weaponry. Since its public debut in the late 1970s, the AA-12 has appeared in action-packed TV shows and films. It also appears in Call of Duty video games, particularly those that focus on current warfare. However, given that it has caused more harm on the virtual battlefield than in actual life, it is not appropriate for Warzone. Corporate buyouts and ATF regulations have made it more difficult to develop an AA-12 that is authorized for civilian use. The gun's rights were licensed by BC Engineering, who live nearby military police systems, and they produced the semi-auto BC Jagger. They began looking at the options for manufacturing that rifle in May 2016. Since that time, Sol Invictus Arms in Florida has purchased the rights to the AA-12 as well as all tooling and molds. The AA-12's future is unknown, however it is anticipated that it will last through the conclusion of the Expendables film series and the unavoidable Modern Warfare 2 sequel. Number 1. DSR Precision DSR-50, $8,000. Bullpup bolt-action anti-material rifle chambered in 50 BMG, the DSR Precision DSR-50 is a product of DSR Precision. The DSR-1 has basically been upgraded. Based on the older DSR-1 model from DSR Precision, the DSR-50 has been modified to fire the more potent 50 BMG round. These improvements include a hydraulic recoil buffer in the buttstock and a unique muzzle attachment. In contrast to modern large-caliber rifles, which normally only have muzzle brakes, this muzzle device, known as a blast compensator, is a combination sound suppressor and muzzle brake. It is noteworthy for its attempt to moderate the muzzle blast and recoil of the 50 BMG. Similar to the DSR-1, this rifle maintains its bullpup configuration allowing for a longer barrel while maintaining a shorter overall length, which is crucial for large caliber rounds like the 50 BMG. This configuration also concentrates the balance of the weapon towards the buttstock, making up for the heavy attachments that are standard on the DSR-50's muzzle. The DSR-50 also keeps several of the characteristics of the DSR-1, including the forward mag holder, fully adjustable cheek rest and buttstock, free-floating barrel, top-mounted bipod, and butt spike monopod. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.